It's the first class in communication skill, right? How are you, Sharma ji? You are able to hear me? The last person? Yeah. Why did you join for such a course in communication skill in the Ramakrishna? I have seen you have all written, except a few. Everybody has written improve communication skill. That's what everybody wants. Somebody wanted to use it in job, somebody wanted to build confidence, somebody wanted to improve in the interview, somebody wanted to improve communication skill in the office, but not at home. Okay? They are good at home, but in office they are not able to. And I find that your background is masters in mathematics, MCA, BTech, few people are inter. And we have a senior citizen here, 70-year-old. What is that you are aiming at? It's not communication skill course, therefore you will write improve communication skill. That's plain, anybody can write that. But what do you look at? What is that you want that after 6 days of this course? What do you expect to have? What is that you will gain more? Or what do you understand by communication skill? That's what I want to know. What is communication skill? All these answers is same. What's communication skill? Now I realized that you are very bad at communication skill. Because no answer from you. What is that you expect from this course? You must tell me. That only can be provided, right? Okay, so for you, communication means talking to group of people. Talking. Each word is important for me. Talking, group of people. That's what communication is. Okay. Anyone else? Pardon? So communication can be efficient and non-efficient also. That's what you mean when you say efficient communication. Is it? Okay. What is efficient communication as far as you are concerned?
Whatever we want to express it, without hesitation, we will complete.
Okay. When you get angry, whatever you wanted to express, without hesitation, you express it. So you are very good in communicating when you get angry. That's what happens, no? Yeah? So with all the feelings, communication should come. You don't care what is the response. Interrelationship. Okay, you are good in relationships. Interrelationship. That's what. There is only interrelationship. Many people don't have intra-relationship. They only relate with somebody else, not to ourselves.
Expressing in such a way that others have to get what we want to say.
Okay, there should not be any confusion. If I feel like telling something, what I have in mind, the whole 100% should reach the other person without any missing in the way. Very good. So that's what effective communication. Efficient is different, effective is different. Okay. So he wants effective, you want efficient. Okay. We'll look at your requirements. So effective communication. That is possible only when you are he and you are she. All what you think cannot be expressed. But it has to be maximum communication should happen. Okay, then what else? Okay, try to speak in a way people like it. Okay. Priyavakya pradhanena sarve tushyanti jantavaha tasmat tadega vaktavyam vajanega daridrana. Priyavakya pradhanena sarve tushyanti jantavaha. Nice words if you speak, every jantu also will like it. Why only human being? Priyavakya pradhanena sarve tushyanti jantavaha. Tasmat tadega vaktavyam. Why you can't talk good words? Vajanega daridrada. Why you want to have daridryam, poverty in words? So learn nice good words. Whenever somebody scolds you, say nice words again back. Make people happy. Making people happy is serving God. Ena kena katarena yasya kasyapi dehinaha sandosham janayat prajna tadevam Ishvara pujanam. Ishvara puja is equal to making somebody else happy. And you can make people happy only through words. Because you are not going to spend the money. You cannot make people giving money. Food also cannot make people happy. Food will make people happy only for some time. Annena kshanika trupti. Once it gets digested, finished, effect is gone. But the words will be there in you throughout your life. Okay, so very good. That's a very good point. That I like it. Tell me. Anything more? Anything more? Finished? Do you think that these 6 days of course will make you some efficient communicators?
Surely makes us better.
But
It makes us surely better.
in what way? What way? Unless you know what is that you want, whatever you get will become useless for you. Is it not? So you should look at what is that you want and ask for that. That's more important. You should always have requirement. If you don't have desire, you don't have requirement, when you reach there, you will become unhappy again. So think what is that you want. That's more essential. Think in all the terms. Then you will get something somewhere. That's more important. Otherwise at the end you will become unhappy. Oh, this is what I thought, but I did not get that. Or you will not think anything, you will get food which you don't require, and you start problems of non-digestion. What I understand generally from people, that's true with you too. For you, communication is only speaking. That's why efficient, effective, confidence. I want to talk to a group of people and all that. Communication doesn't mean it's only speaking on the stage, not attending interviews. Communication have got many branches. When you write an email, SMS, when you chat, when you talk over telephone, when you write letters, when you write a book, when you write an article, when you write a periodical in some magazines, when you talk in front of many people, all of them means communication. Not necessarily oral, it can be written communication also. Communication doesn't mean talking on a stage. Yeah, this is more important where you will have to have more skills. You cannot commit mistakes, you cannot erase it, you cannot rewrite it, you cannot iterate it, you cannot analyze it further, you cannot judge it again yourself. All that is not possible. Therefore, if you are very good in oral communication, most of the other communications you will be good. That's one part. In the systematic communication, if you consider as it is. But many people have got confusion between communication and conversation. When you say, I wanted to express whatever I want to somebody else, and whatever I think somebody else have to understand, when you say that efficiently I must be able to communicate, that is not communication, that is conversation. You can also talk to your friend on any matter and they will understand you perfectly well. Is there anybody who cannot talk to your friends? Is there anybody who cannot communicate to your parents? But generally we don't tell or call that as communication, we call it as conversation. So don't get confused between conversation and communication. People are very good generally in conversation but not very good in communication. So first to distinguish between the difference between conversation and communication. Conversation is casual, it can be developed, you don't have to prepare. Assume that now the new president came. You want to talk about the efficiency of the president. Do you prepare for that to talk to your friend? You just start telling she is very good and somebody else is very bad, and ultimately both of you say, you will change your view, she will change her view, and you will change. All that happens. At the end, what is that you spoke for half an hour? You may have conversation for half an hour on Pratibha, and at the end you will think, I never had a Pratibha, and all this discussion was only gas. Nothing was there, no content. Is it not? That happens. You will talk to your friend on any topic in the world for hours together, and at the end you realize that you have not spoken anything so far. So all that discussion which you have is conversation but not communication. But that conversation you can lift it to a level of communication provided after half an hour of discussion, if it has got some essence, then what does it mean? You have communicated something. You understood? Conversation need not have some things inside. It can be hollow. Just time pass. Communication can never be time pass. Conversation can be time pass. In communication there is a structure. I cannot spend 1 hour here like this, talking something somewhere without any relevance on the topic, and the end when you go out you think that what is that this man spoke? Nothing was there to remember, no? Nothing to learn. Then all the 6 days class, after that you will think there was nothing which I learned. And your 100 rupees, how much? 102 rupees waste. That should not happen. There has to be an essence. There has to be some content. There has to be some concept. Then only that becomes communication. If there is no concept, then you don't get anything. There has to be some stuff. So for communication, the most essential part is you should have some data, some analysis, some information, some judging factor, something should be there. Whatever you don't have or whatever you have, something should be there, which you can collect from different people. That's all possible. And I must prepare and then come for communication. If you want to write an article, you must prepare and then write. When you want to write a letter, you cannot write half and then send it. And then he writes back that I did not understand what did you write. No? Again you write the balance. But in conversation, what you can do, you can tell something, they will say, I did not understand, then you will start telling something more. You understood the difference? So this is the difference between conversation and communication. Assume that you are in an interview and some question comes, you will answer something, and he tells you that, okay, I did not follow you. You repeat it again. That becomes only conversation. And they don't have time for that, because there is a specific time limit. When you become professional, a professional conversation will become a communication. Assume that a small child is drawing a picture of a river, of a nature. You have seen what do? They draw one mountain and one river, and they wanted to extend the river. They turn the page. In the next page they will start drawing their balance. Do you call it as a picture? It cannot be a professional picture, because a professional artist, what he does, if he knows this is the picture I wanted to draw, first he knows that this is the canvas which I have, and then I start resizing, scaling everything what I have within that. If you are not a professional painter, what will happen? You will not be able to fix in all the articles what you want within the frame. Assume that a small child has seen Vivekananda's picture like this. Okay, wonderful, very good, and he wanted to draw. Okay, he will demand an A0 size paper. But instead of that, if you give an A0 size, is not available, so you have given an A4 size. You know A4 size, no? Normal size. You know what he will draw? He will draw only the turban part. And say, yeah, I have drawn, but you give me the rest of the paper, that I will draw next. But if you are a good painter, what you will do? You will resize it and draw. So a conversation is not resizable. You don't demand any frame. Because when you talk to your friend on a topic, will you say, how many minutes are we going to discuss this issue and start the discussion? No. Therefore what will happen? Some unimportant things you will waste some time, and after some time important thing you will not have time. Or between that you will go for 1 or 2 or have a cup of tea, and you will say tomorrow we will continue that. And in between, if your friend has no interest, you will change the topic. Instead of Pratibha, you will have cricket, and after some time again cricket will be lost, some cinema will come, and at the end the topic keeps on changing. In communication, when you read an article, given a title, will you be able to change the topic in the middle? No. When you have a public speaking, can you change the topic in the middle? No. That's the problem. And that is the advantage. Therefore, communication is more professional, but whereas conversation is just casual. That is the difference. But don't confuse between these two. If you want to express your ideas, you don't have to learn communication skill. So you have to have a frame. If it is a public speaking, if it is a class, I know it's 1 hour. So in 1 hour, whatever I have prepared yesterday, whatever I mugged up, I have to reproduce it here. Is it not? So that 1 hour is important for me. There is a frame given. There is a frame given. That is 1 hour if it is a talk. If it is an essay, you may say that it is 2000 words, or you may say it is 10 paragraphs, or you may say it is 10 pages. Then what will happen? Whatever you have to tell, you have to fix it inside that. That's more important. So communication has got a restriction, it has got a frame, and you have to prepare, you should have sufficient data set. But for conversation, you don't have to have data. You can start growing data in between. So this is one advantage, one disadvantage. Everybody is good in conversation, but not in communication. That's why conversation skill classes are not there. Communication skill classes are different. And I found that some people asked for language. What is that you expected from the course? Language. Then there is another institute, language institute. This is not the place where you should learn language. And if you have skill in communication, language is not a problem for you. Language will support you. Saraswati will support if you have Ganesha with you. No Vignam, then Saraswati will come. No problem. Okay. And if you have sufficient language, it doesn't guarantee you a good communication skill. All the dictionary you by heart, but that does not guarantee you a good communication skill. You will have a good language. All Telugu words are known to you. But does it make you a good public speaker? There are people who doesn't have good language, but still they can talk. Every English fellow is not good in giving English talk. Every Telugu fellow is not good in giving Telugu talk. Why? Because language is not a big barrier in communication skill. Understand that? You can substitute not the best language you will have, but you will be able to substitute something else. More important is essence. There has to be some idea. There has to be creativity. And somebody says efficient, effective. You have to be slightly different. And whatever you have in your mind, where this idea, topic, data, analysis, where does it lie? That's there in our where? Buddhi and manas. We have our feelings in our manas and data is in our buddhi. That has to be mixed together and then supplied. And that has to reach inside you, where? In your manas, in your buddhi. Then whatever I say becomes effective, and it becomes affective. A and E. See the dictionary for difference in the meaning. So some talk will become effective and become affective only when the person will have this knowledge, idea in his manas and buddhi, and I am able to take it into your manas and buddhi. Most of the time it does not happen. That is because most of us do not by heart. Many people will say, why you are by heart? By heart means what? Generally heart is translated into manas. You are learning it inside your manas. Learning it inside manas is wonderful. But many people don't take it into manas. They will take it into buddhi. Once you take it into buddhi, that communication becomes temporary. Once you take it into manas, that will become effective. How do a communication become effective? Once it gets into your mind. When somebody talks something, you say that, yeah, it affected me. Affected means what? That got into my manas. Once you understood, that means it is there in your buddhi. Whatever is there in buddhi will not be usable. Whatever is there in your manas will become usable. You will not even remember at times if it is in buddhi, you will remember every time if it is there in your manas. Therefore a communication is very effective only when it reaches into the heart of the people. A good communicator is a communicator who can take words, all the concept, data sets, everything inside the manas of the person who are listening to you. I become effective only when I can take this concept into your manas. One simple example is, we must have taken oath that all Indians are my brothers and sisters. How many times? Maybe thousands and thousands of times, right? But when you walk on this road, do you feel, oh, this is my brother, this is my sister? Do you feel that? Why you are not feeling it? Because that word did not reach into your manas. It has gone into the brain only. Okay, so a communication, whatever you got it, the concept is there in you, but you are not able to express it outside. So a communication skill is the ability where you will be able to absorb the idea and make it yours, and whenever you want, you get an opportunity, you will be able to use it. Skill is that knowledge where you can practice it. Education is what you can get it. Skill means you will be able to practice it. Okay. So number of words, words which you will by heart will be hundreds. But if you don't have a skill, when you want that word will not come. And after some time the word will come. No use. You want to scold somebody, but at that time you don't get any bad words. Finished now. How do you scold people with good words? Only good words will come. That's very difficult. Many times what happens, you will prepare well, go for an interview, when something's asked, you don't get it. As soon as you come out of the door, yeah, everything I can. I knew but I could not tell. That's a problem. Why does it happen? Because skill is not there. Buddhi is there, manas is vibrating. If you kept that knowledge inside your manas, at deep sleep, if somebody asks also, you will answer it. You don't have to do any prayatnam for this. You don't have to struggle. Your walking capability is in your manas, not in buddhi. When you start learning driving, your buddhi will start working. Because you will know which is accelerator, which is clutch, which is brake, which is first gear, second gear, when I take turn like this, where it will turn. All this you have to think. But once you become an expert driver, your buddhi will not work. You will just drive, that's all. So there is a lot of difference between knowledge which is there in your buddhi and manas. How many of you can close your eyes and then imagine that you have got food in front of you, take the food and then eat? Is there any problem? Will the hand will go somewhere else? Why? Because that knowledge is there in manas. You have by hearted it. But how many of you can take your finger tip onto your nose tip? How many of you? 80% of the people cannot. Because your fingertip doesn't know your nose tip. Because you don't do this every day. If there are somebody else who is doing this every day, there are some people who do all the time. They will exactly take at night also. But if you don't have this bad habit, you will never be able to take your fingertip onto. You want to try this? It's a skill class, right? No, so you must try it. I'll give another example, not this, that you can try somewhere. Just raise your hands. Raise your hands like this. Take your hands like this. Fingers like this. Okay? When I say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Touch this. You are able to touch? Because you are seeing it. Okay? Now what do? If you are too fat, you cannot. You will reach there only. It will not go further. That's a different problem. That's not a buddhi manas problem. That's a physical problem. Now you close your eyes, see down, and then do the same exercise. See here? 0, 1, 2, 3. You must keep your hand where I said 10, keep it there. Okay? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep it there. Many people are so brilliant, they are at the third itself they have seen like this and kept it there. I am sure you cannot be successful that easily. That is because your mind is not able to control your own body. Because you don't have practice. Any skill can be acquired only by practice. If you don't practice, you can never get it. So communication skill is also such, if you don't practice, you cannot do it. If you want to write essay, go on writing essay on many topics. Don't just do it when you wanted to compete for some examination. Attend interviews, no. They don't charge you, right? Do they charge you? No, only few photographs and then some papers, and today it is on email, digital, no problem. You just go on submitting application. You know how much trouble they will have? It's easy for you. You will become much more expert. And what is your qualification? Yeah, I have attended 100 interviews. Now what is that you can do? If you want an interviewer, you call me. I am an expert in interviewing people. The main problem people write is that you have tension in attending interview. Why do you worry? They are not your enemies, they are not fox, they are not lion, they are also human beings. They are not going to see you tomorrow, they are not giving you food. They cannot stop your, nothing can be stopped, right? You will just meet them. And they have some doubt in some subject which you are an expert. Therefore they are asking you something. Isn't it? Most of the people when they become old, they have less knowledge. They can only ask questions. Answers cannot be given. And asking questions is very easy. Because when one candidate comes, you can ask who are the Pancha Pandavas. All Pandavas name you can say. So you will get 100% mark. What I will ask, again same Pancha Pandavas you will ask. The candidate must have gone outside and then told, they are asking Pandavas name, you by heart it, And all that will happen. Therefore what I will do, next question I will ask, who are the name 5 Kauravas? Very easy to ask, right? But do you know 5 Kauravas name? You will get only 1 out of 100 or 2 out of 100. Because 100 Kauravas are there, I have to distribute that mark, where you will get 100%, the other case you will get only 2%. So asking question is very easy, but answering is very difficult. So don't worry. Just don't worry. If you don't get a job, it is wonderful. Why? Because you can apply for many jobs. When you get into a job, you lost many options. That's very difficult. When you get into a job, you don't have other jobs with you. If you don't do a job, then you have many jobs in your hands. Understood? When you miss a bus, it is wonderful. You have many buses. Any bus you can get in. Once you get into a bus, many buses are missed. Which is good. Missing bus is good. So when you miss a bus, be very happy. Yeah, I missed a bus today. I am very happy. Because I can get into any bus. You want to extend that further? Don't love a girl, then you miss many chances. So when you start loving a girl, you will not talk to many of them. If you love one girl and then talk to somebody else, true for you also. Then finished, and the evening you will get a bulldozer. Never get married, you lose chance in life. So in life, don't worry about losing something. If you are skillful, people will come behind you. The tension is not because, for what? Not getting. The tension is because you are not skillful. If you know the topic, which you are conversant, you know everything about the topic, will you have a problem in standing on this place and then talking on the topic? But you know, the problem is you don't prepare. Everybody has same knowledge. Don't think that X is good, Y is not good. Everybody has got same knowledge, I am sure. But what is lacking is, make it into a professional style we lack. Understood? We have knowledge, but we don't know how to frame it. What is the picture? It is only some curve, some point, some decimal. All that what we know how to draw is in a picture. But what we don't know, how to put them together. If you put one circle and a square and a curve and a line together, that becomes a picture. But we know how to draw each of them, but we don't know how to put them together. That's a problem. How many of you can talk about the pen for half an hour? It's an exercise. Wonderful, nobody. You are using it for how many years? For so many years. But you cannot talk about a pen for half an hour. That's what communication skill is like. Can you talk about the pen to your friend for half an hour? You can fight for a pen for half an hour. For giving as a gift, for not giving as a gift, given pen for somebody else as a gift, you can fight with your friends. Is it not? But what is the problem? Conversation is different. When you want to talk about the pen, it is not just that fighting. It is not just talking. You should have a frame. How do you frame it? You just take a paper, draw a circle. You have paper and pen with you, right? Take a page, draw a circle in the center of the pen. Take a paper, draw a circle in the center of your page. Very fast. Just circle. Don't worry whether it's a circle or not. Can be an ellipse. No problem. Draw some circle. Nursery class. Now you are in nursery class. Okay? Which class? Nursery class. And then make it as a sun. How do you draw sun? Lot of arrays on all the sides, right? The sun rays. Yeah, very good. See? Recollecting after a long time. After 17 years, after 70 years, people are drawing. Right? Good. Yeah, made a good sun. Good sun, very good sun. Now in the center of the circle, you write a pen, P-E-N, pen. Now each ray, you attribute its qualities, the pen qualities. Which are the qualities of pen? What are the qualities of pen? You are in marketing? No. Okay. What are the different qualities of pen? It depends on your background. If you are marketing, you will say it's a good product. No? They have got good market. They have got good price. Right? Different aspects of pen. Pen as a business. Is it not? If you are a teacher, you will say pen for writing. Then, what else? What you can talk about pen? The model of pen, style of pen, ink used, which media you are writing, how much thickness you have. You are very thick pen and thin pen, right? 0.5 mm, 0.3 mm. The technology used in pen. No, the ink difference. You have ball pen. So you write each one of the qualities, uses of pen. Pen as a weapon. You can make revolutions. Pen is mightier than. So there is proverbs, you can quote all of them. Then what else? The history of pen, the invention of pen as a gift, pen as a prestige. Depends on which pen you are using, people will know. Okay, Amitabh Bachchan, Parker. Right now? So symbol, status symbol. Then what? Uses of pen. Many uses of pen. Creative uses of pen. What are the creative uses of pen? Right now? You can write so many things about the pen. Now how much you can write? How many rays are filled up? You think more, you will get more and more. Is it not? Now each subject which you have on this topic, the pen is the title. And for pen, how many subtitles you can put? As many as you want, right? Each one of them, can you write one sentences? Now how many hours you can talk? On a small topic, did I give you any new idea? No. Did I give you new data? No. What did I do? You have data with you, I have made it into a structure. Now you think about this. Do you talk about creative uses of pen first? Or do you write the invention of pen first? Do you write the history of pen first or uses of pen first? So you put different numbers for this. 1, 0, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You make a structure. Once you do, you can write articles on that. You can write email on that. Right? You can write anything on that. You can also present it to them. Once you make a structure, it becomes easy. If you don't make a structure, you cannot make communication. Given any topic in the world, what is essentially required is you must be able to put them into a frame add data sets to that, then present it well. For presenting well, you need language. For thinking about that, you don't require language. Is it not? And more important is, in communication, you must know to whom you are talking. Assume that you are presenting this, the pen is the topic given. You are talking this to executives or a grown-up person. The style in which you are presenting will be different. The style in which you are presenting the same topic to smaller kids will be different, right? So you must know how to modulate your presentation. If it is an oral presentation, much more. And in oral presentation, when people are physically present is different. If you are not physically present, it is different. Oral means through mouth, but doesn't mean when you are physically or non-physically it will have same. When you are physically present, body language is important. If you are not physically present, then body language is not at all important. When you are talking over phone, you are getting angry. Do your eyebrow have to go up and down? Not necessary. Your word vibrations can tell what is your mood. But not necessarily you should shake your hand and then stamp your feet. Not required. You can sit coolly and then get angry. But assume that you are physically present. You cannot get angry without your body language. You know that in All India Radio there used to be drama earlier. They just talk. Because All India Radio, no visuals. Do you think they start acting? No actions. They will sit peacefully on a chair and then start discussing things. But that will have a drama effect because we think that they are acting, because each modulation of the word will give a body language within you. When you hear, picture will come automatically in your eyes. Because our indriyas are wonderful. They are coordinated. If they are coordinated, you will have problems. If the word is there, then the picture will come automatically. My name is Shashi Kumar. Then after some time when you think, oh, I listened to the lecture of Dr. Shashi Kumar, automatically the picture will come. You have no way to close, because you have already taken my picture and then kept inside your brain. Whether you want or not, it's unknowingly which happens. You have no way. You cannot throw me out now. Finished. Gaya. That much space is lost. A useless fellow's picture inside your manas. Now nothing can be done. When you listen that word, when you listen to my sound, automatically the picture will come. When you say Mirchi Bhaji, oh, you just heard the word Mirchi Bhaji. The picture is there. Not only in your eyes, at time also the taste will come. Is it not? So all indriyas are connected. How does it happen? Because each indriya will communicate to another indriya. So in creativity, that's more essential. Your indriya have to be coordinated. They have to communicate to each other. If that does not happen, your communication skill will not happen. Assume that you are acting. When you get angry, you should know your hand should move in specific direction. If your hand does not move in specific direction, then what will happen? You will show signal something, but you will talk something else. That becomes very difficult. And your eye should reach somewhere. When communicating, you should look at the person. By now, I must have looked at most of your eyes. Not an eye, actually I will look at your this place. That's called Ajna Chakra. The best way to get somebody in your hand is look your Ajna Chakra. When communicating, where do you look at? Some people will come to me and ask, while communicating, where should I look? Now, many people will look at different places, that's a problem. And they will start communicating back perfectly. So you should know where to look at people and then talk. So when you look, communicate something also, automatically. You don't have to talk verbally, but sometimes a look is enough to communicate things. Sometimes not talking becomes a better communication than talking. So in oral communication itself, there are a lot of degradation. And different levels you will communicate. It's called Shabdatalam, Bhavatalam, Arthatalam, Vedanatalam. Catharsis. Look for catharsis, the word, and then start learning these different levels. A dance is a good communication, but it is in the Bhavatalam. A music is a good communication. If you don't know Hindi also, you can appreciate Hindi music. Why? Because it is in Shabdatalam. But if it is in your mother tongue, Arthatalam will become better. If it is upper tongue, it does not become that good. Okay, so it depends on which level you can. All of them together will get into a catharsis level. So getting more skill will make you to appreciate things better and better. You must have lot of words with you, lot of languages with you, then you will be able to appreciate it well. Communication skill, language is more important when you want to express it. So first I have covered creativity. That's where data collection, analysis, putting them together, collecting data. How do you get information? When you open your eyes, open your ears, open your tongue, and open your skin, everywhere information is there. You must start collecting. When you collect lot of data, let's talk to different people, you will get lot of information. And where do you keep them? Don't keep it in your brain, keep it in your manas. And words also, whatever you by heart, it should be by heart, not by brain. Okay, put it inside your heart. Then from the manas it will come out. Vak mana. Vak should be there in manas. Vak mana. Where does the manas get words? It gets from all the indriyas. All the indriyas are clean, you will get a clean word. If indriyas are not clean, you will have bad words in your manas. So if you want to have good words, clean your manas. That's what Shankara says. Manam darpana samanam. And don't exaggerate, don't reduce the importance also. With exact interest, what you have, the same interest you must be able to communicate. Use the word more appropriately. How do you do this? Only by practice. So if you want to attend interview, give lot of interviews, mock interviews. Try to present it well, prepare well. You think that what questions you can ask. Write down the questions, write down the answers, prepare well. Not necessarily they will ask you the same, but start attending many interviews. After some time you know what they can ask. And you don't worry about them, because if you don't get a job, no problem, you have many more options in life. Now I am here. If I start worrying, if I am not able to take 1 hour class, what will happen? What will happen? Maximum you will throw chappal, but Ramakrishna already asked you to remove chappal and then come. So you cannot do that. So I am safe. My safety is taken care of by Ramakrishna. Then why do I worry? You will say that I am a bad fellow. How does it matter? I am not going to see you tomorrow. Why do I worry? And if you say I am so very good person, how does it matter to me? You are not paying me anything extra. Right? No? So if you say I am good, if you say I am not good, both are not important for me. What should I say? At the end of the class, I must tell that, oh, I have done it well. Your satisfaction is more important. Is it not? When you get satisfied, you become wonderful. If anybody else tells me that I am good or bad, it does not affect me. When you improve every day, then you will be able to appreciate you. So what do? Appreciate yourself. Don't try to say that I don't have this ability, I cannot do this. If you start telling that every day, you can never do that. Every opportunity you must use it. Any performance, any skill you can show only when you should have 3 parameters there. For every performance you need 3 parameters, 3 levels. One is skill, ability. You will learn communication skill perfectly well. But if you don't use it, what is the use? Arjuna learned how to fight, but he says, no, I won't fight. What is the use? That's why Lord Krishna gave 18 chapters of scolding. And Arjuna became totally tired. He learned how to fight. But at the time when he wanted to fight, like at the time when you go for interview, the lips start drying up, and the heart starts beating more, and the pen will fall down. There, Gandhi won't fall down. That's all the difference is not there. And you become a psychic patient, like Arjuna was a psychic patient, Dr. Krishna was there to treat, psychiatrist. The same thing will happen. You will have to listen to 18 chapters. But by the time you will become almost near to graveyard. So don't worry. Nobody is going to determine what you are going to be. If somebody says you are bad, you say thank you. Don't worry, it's his opinion. You should never feel that you are bad. Many people wanted to become presentable. How? Look at the mirror and say, oh, what do you do? Put a lot of Godrej here, Godrej there, useless. You feel you are good. That's more important. You should feel you are good. The word does not come from the dress what you wear, does not come from the ornament which you put, does not come from the flower which you use, does not come from the all the decorations you do. It comes from your manas. Keyuranina bhushayanti purusham harana chandrojjalam na snanam na kusumam na vilepanam etc. 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 It says what bhushanam bhushanam. Keyuranina bhushayanti purusham harana chandrojjalam. Haram is not important. What is not important? Na kusumam. Putting flower is not important. Nice lady, take a nice bath, good dressed up well, lot of ornaments, lot of flowers on the back, but the face looks like this. No smiling feature at all in the face. Will you be able to talk to them? When they come, you will just avoid. Yesterday I was in a house. So when I went as a guest, I gone in the front room itself, lot of dresses after the washing and drying it out, it was kept there. And they said, no, the house is so dirty, it's all kept here. I said, when you keep it on your body, it looks so wonderful. But when you remove it and keep it there, it's so not dirty, In life, everything is like that. When it is on you, it looks beautiful. When it is outside you, it looks so dirty. You have nice finger with good fingertips. So wonderful, so nice. You enjoy it. Wonderful, no? Very good. Then what do? Cut this and then put it near idli and then start eating. Will that appreciate? No. A thing should be there where it has to. If you put it in a different place, it looks so ugly. In communication also, the word which you have to be used at the right place, in the right direction properly, otherwise it looks so ugly. You can scold people, but you should scold at the right place. Okay, in the center of the city, you just hit somebody, and then a local person, you start scolding him, what will happen? You will be getting admitted very soon. Okay, that time you should become so down and say that sorry, And you get a beating, you say no problem, you beat me as much as you want, but let me go after that home. Right, no? You should surrender wherever you can surrender. You should show your power wherever you can show. You become small where you can become small. Put your weight where you can show weight. All this is essential. In communication skills, more essential is the bhavam in which you are communicating to people. The bhavam is important. Your inner manas is more important. So you will have to have creativity. You should collect information. Presentation is more important. That's what I said. Your presentation skill is more important. You will have a nice slide. Perfectly, all data sets are there. But your presentation skill is very bad, then you cannot be an effective person. So effectiveness comes only in the presentation part. And efficiency is there. But only you should know to whom you are presenting. If you don't know your audience, it becomes very difficult. So you must know to whom you are presenting. So you should have data sets, you must frame it well, you should know to whom you are presenting, and you should know the model and the tool which you are using and all the skill which you should develop and then try to practice it. If you don't practice, communication skill becomes useless. So I don't think 6 days of class will give you communication skill. It will tell you which are all the different aspects where you have to concentrate, and then you start practicing, that becomes yours. Abhyasenadu kaunteya. Start practicing, then only Arjuna, you can become perfect. So it's a nice chance for you in the Mahabharata practice. So every interview when you attend, you think that without paying money, you are getting training in attending interviews. Don't attend interview classes. There are so many coaching centers there, they will train you how to attend interviews. They will tell you how to put tie and all that. That's all useless. Whether you put tie or don't put tie is useless. More important is your presentation. When Vivekananda was walking in the American street, somebody pulled his turban. So nice, no? Different person. And then he turned back and asked, why gentleman, why you are pulling my turban? He has a wonderful, fabulous English. Very good English. And they asked, from your look, you does not look like a cultured man, but your English is wonderful. Then he said, in your land, tailor makes a gentleman. In our land, culture makes a gentleman. So whatever we practice is what our culture is. So try to get into good culture. That's more important. Each word what you speak has to be very good. You can assess the person from the words what he uses. You can see from which background he comes. How do you develop this? You should have good people around you. Start talking to good people, start practicing. Whoever you meet, start talking to. The people who travel with me have difficult time. Because if I have to travel 3 hours in a bus, whoever sits beside me, I will grab every knowledge which he has. I will start asking him, what do you do? Then he say, I am a mechanical engineer. Which branch you are doing? So I am in thermal field. What do you do? I make so much of this sort of a machine. How do you make this? Where do you get this equipment from? Where do you know how much knowledge you will gain? Otherwise, what do you do for all the 2 hours? You will start thinking, oh, Nizamabad has not come here. I don't know how much time I am spending in the bus, so boring. So no, you will start cursing yourself. Most of the time in our life, we are talking to ourselves. That is just a waste of talk and it becomes only conversation. Morning I had a nice fighting with my wife. Now what I will do, throughout the day I start thinking she is a so stupid girl, I should have married somebody else, the life has become so boring. Any chance? Go on. Now what do? Until evening I am thinking like that. I have come here and had a class, I just forgotten about all that. Why? Because I have something else to do. If I don't have a class here, what I will do? In the house I must be thinking about all the scolding. And when I reach the back office, my boss scolded me. I have given you some assignment, but you have not done it. Then I will forget about my wife, only my boss picture will be there in my mind. I will think about all boss only. Then what I do? I go to my subordinate, start scolding him. All that what my boss has given, I have given to my subordinate. I become so free. Will I become? Then I will go, oh, I should not have done this. Then I will start scolding myself. The day will go like this. At the end of the day, when I go back to sleep, what did I do today? What to do? Scolding. So what you do? Take your hands up. Raise your hands up. Take it on your head. Now cover my Is it not? But assume morning itself I enjoy. My wife scolded me, no problem. Yeah? You sit there and scold me, I will cook today. And I made nice chai and then give it. You drink this and then start scolding. You have to scold, no. So who loses energy? The person who is scolding is losing energy. So I will provide you tiffin. You eat well and then start scolding. When somebody wanted to scold me, gone 1 glass of water because you will become tired, no? And you also drink water because I have to get ready to get scolded. Now this is a good practice. Good communication skill practice comes with drinking water. Okay? Somebody is scolding or you want to scold somebody, give 1 glass of water, I am going to scold you. Please get ready, I am getting ready, I will drink 1 glass of water. Still you have a mood of scolding, another 1 more glass. Okay, finish 3-4 bottles by the time you will have to go and then flush it out and then you will feel so happy, no scolding will come. Just postpone your scolding. That's the best way. If there is water scarcity, Nimbu, Amla, oh. That is the best way. Sometimes not communicating is wonderful. That's a good skill learned. No? Many times we communicate more and that becomes abaddam. So don't do mistakes in life. Don't communicate. Just keep on postponing. Narasimha Rao was very famous, our old Prime Minister. No, his brother asked, I am loving somebody, I want to get married. You sit there, I will come back and tell you. He never came back, both died. So sometimes not communicating also will become perfect communication. So this is a skill. You don't require language. Without language also you can communicate. When I am sitting and then talking to my friend, my son comes. Once I will allow. Second time again he is coming. Then I said go. Then he will start drinking water. Because that time he can go through my room 2 times or 3 times. Then I will look at him like this. He will go and then open the book. Here will be there, I will be here. Correct, no? That is because you are able to communicate to somebody through a look. And many people, they will sit here but thinking something else. All the communication becomes useless. All the class was useless because when you are sitting here, you are thinking about your breakfast, masala dosha. Then what will happen? All what I said becomes useless. There are some people who are very good. They wanted to learn, very critically analyze everything what somebody says. But what happened? In the beginning of the lecture, I made a small grammar mistakes. Instead of children, I have used children's. Not to be used, right now. And this man who is little bit good in English, he was thinking, how to catch this? I am sitting in the corner. He will go out. Before that, I should catch him and tell, you don't know languages, sir. So all the time, 1 hour, he was only thinking how to take him. I have to give him a class. He is giving classes to many people. He cannot be that a good, brilliant fellow. I will catch him. Before he took birth, I started teaching English in my life. This happens because what happens to people? They are not looking at the concept. What is more important in the communication? Concept is not important. You may do mistakes. See, I went to some of the villages here and then talked to the village people in Telugu. I have taken class. I am sure that I must have done hundreds of mistakes. Because my Telugu is not good. I am not a Telugu man. I am a Kerala. And I cannot talk well in Telugu. But still I spoke to him. Because the people, there are 80 people and I do not know. And none of them will understand English. So only way is to talk to them in Telugu. What is more important? The class was for motivating them to do social service. And at the end, what should I gain? They should become motivated, that's all. It is not important whether I will teach him English first. That's not important. So they should have a skill and that is what we should look at. What is that I am trying to communicate? Language becomes unimportant. Maximum enjoyed class for 6 months. If I take a statistics, that's a class which I enjoyed more. Because their heart is thrilling. They wanted to learn and we enjoy. So language does not become a barrier for people if you have got idea and you have got a balanced mind and you think that the outcome is important but not the medium. So don't worry if you don't have good English. If you have a good heart, that's enough. If there is a good heart and good intention, if you are motivated, your language is not a barrier for you. And language can be developed only by practice. So try to read a lot. Read lot of things, Just read newspaper. How much time you will spend for reading newspaper? If you don't spend 2 hours for reading newspaper, you are not educated. Every day spend 2 hours for reading newspaper. The language will become wonderful. And you will have lot of general knowledge. If you don't practice reading newspaper, that's going to be very bad. So spend lot of time reading newspaper. Keep a dictionary beside. Start learning lot of words and try to use it. If you don't use it, that word will go. So more important is practicing. Learning language is important. You should have good creative idea. Frame it well. Practice it well. And keep your internal communication perfect so that you don't waste your time. When you see the newspaper, you should have good concentration in reading. When you take the book while reading, that book will communicate to you. The book is communicating to you. If you have full concentration. If you don't have concentration, that reading becomes useless. So for communication, concentration is essential. Otherwise, I will tell something, you will think something else that will not reach into you. So while reading a book, how do you get concentration? Just take the book, read the title of the book, close the book. Don't read further. Very easy to read a book. What do you do? Open the book, read the title, close the book, keep it aside. Then enjoy. Take one paper, one pen, write what all you know about that book, about that chapter. I wanted to read Bhagavad Gita from today onwards. Take Bhagavad Gita book. Oh, this is Bhagavad Gita. No author's name. Okay, it's not written by anybody. Keep it aside. Or you may see the commentator, Shankara. Okay, Shankara has commentaries on this. Then keep it aside. Start writing whatever you know about Bhagavad Gita. So wonderful, is there any problem? Just write. 1 page, 2 page, 1 paragraph. Whatever you know, you write. Then what do? Open Bhagavad Gita. Start reading introduction. Then you realize What do you realize? Again, raise your hand. Raise your hand. Take it. Oh, I am such a fool. I do not know anything about Bhagavad. But while reading, you realize, I know everything about Bhagavad Gita. Shankara doesn't know that much. I am better than him. Then what do? Take your hand. Take your hand up. Raise it. Take it back. Well done. I am great. Nobody needs to tell that you are great, but feel that you are great. You know how much happy you will be? Assume that you don't know. Oh, I don't know this. It's a wonderful chance given to me to learn. Read everything. Then you will gain little bit of knowledge. Then you feel, okay, by reading this book, I got this much knowledge. Measure your knowledge level every time. If you don't measure your knowledge level, whatever you read becomes useless. Then what will happen? You will lose interest in reading. Is it not? You weigh yourself every time. Your length also you will start measuring every time. Physical development you wanted to measure, but your intellectual, emotional development you don't measure at all in your life. When you read, before reading you should know how much you know. After reading you should know how much you know. Then reading becomes interesting to you. After every chapter you learn, you feel, oh, I learned this much. So what did you learn today in the evening? Yeah, I learned this much. Tell yourself, I am growing every day, learning more and more. Then after reading, take another paper, write. You will be able to write well. If you cannot paraphrase whatever you read, whatever you learn, whatever communication you get, that communication becomes useless. So a communication becomes useful only when you can tell about whatever you learn to somebody. Knowledge is learning, not learning alone. Learning and teaching together is what is knowledge. If you cannot teach somebody what you learned, that becomes useless. So what you should do today? Did you learn anything from last 1 hour? You go back and then whomever you meet on the road, yeah, come here, I am going to teach you communication. When you go back home, if you get somebody, you tell what you learned in the class. Who will get developed? You will get developed. Okay, so try to think about this. Read a lot. Not necessarily you should read. Just think on these lines. So it's wonderful to think. And we have sufficient knowledge. Frame it together. If you don't frame your knowledge, knowledge becomes useless. So put it into a frame. Make it into a perfect look. That's more important. You have a small house, but you keep it clean. It looks so wonderful. You have a big house, nothing is clean. You don't appreciate. So knowledge may be little or more, doesn't matter. A person is successful only when he frames whatever he has to put it into nice. So more important is structuring it, framing it well. That's more important. Okay? So do it in that style. So we'll have a last exercise. I spoke to you for the last 1 hour, more than 1 hour. I'm very happy that you are not seeing watch. If you are seeing watch, that means I am boring. Okay, that's a signal audience will give, but I have to reach office back. I'm a scientist in Department of Space, so to go back. I'm an office student. What you do is, close your eyes, close your ears with your hand like this, and then think on all the points what I said. What did you learn in the last 1 hour? Just think on all those points. One by one, from starting, definition, conversation, communication, creativity, taking pen as an example, all that what did I say? Manas, buddhi, communication, where has to reach, and language is important, all that what I said, just start thinking about all of them. Don't take 1 hour thinking, only 2 minutes. Your manas is much faster than the words. Good, enough. Did you have something in your mind now? If you don't do this exercise, just go out of the class, you will not get it. So it's more important when you read, after bhajan you have jnana. Is it not? Similarly, when you read, don't just get up and then go and start eating food. What do? Close your book, do dhyana for that. What did you learn? Many people while reading, if you close the book and ask what you are reading, does it not happen? Because Shraddha is not there. I am a psychotherapist. Many students will come and tell me, I am not able to concentrate. When I read, my manas goes into different places. That's the age. Very good. Your mind is working. It's not working, it's a problem. Only thing is working, you are doing little bit of repair, maintenance, okay? So you can put them into your service. How do you get concentration? When you read, how many hours you read? Continuously? 2 hours? Don't read 2 hours, okay? When you see movie, 2 hours is fine. You will get full concentration from that. But reading 2 hours concentration, the same person who cannot concentrate for reading 10 minutes, 2.5 hours, movie total concentration, every body movement is by heart. But in reading, concentration will not come. Every serial, after 5 minutes you have got a commercial break. So while reading also, after reading 5 minutes, take a commercial break. If you have a sister or brother, kick. If you have a mother, kick once. And then drink 1 glass of water. Then if father is reading paper, snatch it and then tear it off and do some jagada there, and then come back and say, oh, my job is over, I'm going back to reading again. So commercial break is over. Enjoy it. If you don't enjoy, you will sit in front of the book and then start thinking about all. Nothing will work. Okay? So write before reading, read, after reading, write again. That has to be the practice. You will get automatically good concentration. So after reading, you must know, oh, this much I learned. And whatever you read, whatever you learned, tell somebody else, whomever you meet. You are traveling, most of the people, when you travel, you will get somebody. You can talk about anything what you read in the newspaper. Today newspaper says this, tell him, so that becomes yours. So now what do? Practice that. Here, whoever is sitting beside you, you talk about whatever you learned, whatever you thought just now to your neighbor. Practice it. Just tell your neighbor what did you learn today. Tell your neighbor, whoever is sitting beside you, back, front, side, left, right. Just tell your friend, what did you learn? Don't leave her alone. Tell her. And ask her, what did you learn? If she don't tell. Tell your backside. Turn back and then tell him. Turn your back and then say. Fine. This is just an exercise to tell you that you listen, you hear, and all your indriyas will start connecting information from outside. That's what I have given you some information today. And then what do? Think yourself on that. Make it yours. Otherwise it does not become yours. It will be just lying on your ear. And it does not become in your manas. Then you coolly think about that and get into your manas. So whatever I told you is there in your manas. Then what do? Tell somebody else. Acharya padamadatte padam shishya swamedaya padam sa brahmacharibhya padam kalakramenacha. You listen something from somebody. I'm not an acharya, only just a lecturer. So listen from somebody who tells you. If it is an acharya, one person, listen from them. Acharya padamadatte. Quarter information you will get from your acharya. Then 1/4 you should get from yourself. Start reading, thinking about it, expand your knowledge and collect lot of data, analyze yourself, criticize yourself, judge yourself, interpret yourself, make that knowledge yours. Then what do? Tell somebody else. Padam sa brahmacharibhya. Brahmachari means bachelor. When you are a bachelor, you will have to share with many people. If you are not a bachelor, you will share with only one. So be a bachelor in learning. What does it mean? Don't share only to one person, share to all of them. Bachelors will go to many, married only one. Okay? So try to do that. So what do? Acharya padamadatte padam shishya swamedaya padam sa brahmacharibhya padam kalakramenacha. The quarter portion you will get only after some time. But communication becomes misinterpretation many times. Because if people are bad, they will start thinking only bad. Whatever good information you get, that will not get to you. This sloka itself is a good example. In one place I was telling, Acharya Padamadate. Acharya will give quarter. Padam Shishya Swamedaya. The quarter portion the Shishya has to do. Oh nice Acharya, he gives quarter every day. And quarter I can take myself. And quarter my friend will give. And after if I can stand well, another quarter. Oh, what will I do? So it's always difficult. If you keep bad things in your mind, whatever you listen, you will start interpreting bad. I have no time for questions, but if you are always welcome to ask questions, you can email me on dr for doctor underscore dr for doctor underscore TPS, T for top, P for police, S for service, dr underscore TPS, T for temperature, T for pressure, S for second. dr_TPS @yahoo.com or DrTPSASI @gmail.com. You can ask me questions, send some comments, and you can also look at Orkut. There is a community called Life is to Live. Life is to Live. You will see some small tips from me, half paragraph on many of the topics. If you start asking questions, I will answer that, so it will become beneficial for many people. Okay, go to Orkut and type Dr. T.P. Shashikumar, SASIKUMAR. Totally you will see me. Go to Yahoo and type, you will see me somewhere there, because there is a Yahoo group called Dr_TPS, Dr_TPS. You will see a few of my articles and sessions. You can look at them and please start communication. Because it's a communication skill class. Okay? So wish you